Number 1. Public bathrooms at night. You're in a well-lit building, probably a gas station or maybe a rest stop on a long road trip. Totally normal. Nothing spooky. But then you step into the public bathroom, and instantly your brain goes, "We are now in a serial killer's lair. Good luck." Even though your rational mind knows this is just a tiled room with too many hand dryers and not enough soap, your lizard brain is shrieking. Run. Why? Because your nervous system has zero chill when it comes to echoey, fluorescent-lit, half-empty places where people go alone. Add the weird flicker of a dying light bulb and the smell of industrial-grade lemon bleach. And congratulations, you've entered a live-action anxiety simulation. This is evolutionary wiring at its weirdest. Your brain evolved to be alert in confined spaces with only one exit, especially when you're vulnerable. You know, like when your pants are around your ankles. Combine that with low visibility and weird smells? Boom. Cortisol cocktail. And don't even get started on the sound design. That one sharp clank of a stall door swinging shut? That's not just a sound. That's a jump scare with acoustics. So yes, you are in a very normal, very safe location. But your brain thinks you've entered the final scene of a horror movie. Evolution really didn't plan for 24-hour truck stop restrooms. Number 2. Deep water you can't see into. You're at the lake. It's a sunny day. Everyone's having a great time. You paddle out a bit, laughing, splashing until your feet leave the sandy bottom and now you're just floating over nothing. Congratulations. You're now terrified. Even though there's statistically nothing under there, your brain starts playing Shark Attack, the imaginary remix. Your heartbeat goes up. Your legs feel vulnerable. You become hyper-aware of your own meat sack existence. And suddenly, you're 90% sure there's something ancient and toothy waiting just beneath your feet. Why? Because deep, dark water is the ultimate unknown. Your eyes can't scan for threats. Your brain can't gauge depth. It's just infinite, cold, pressure-filled mystery, and your body hates that. Thanks to evolution, we're hardwired to fear what we can't see, especially if it could swallow us whole. Spoiler, this fear predates the Discovery Channel. This is the same biology that freaks out at the edge of cliffs, dark alleys, and people who say, "Trust me," right before explaining a cryptocurrency investment. So even though you're just in a local swimming hole and the scariest thing nearby is probably a floating Dorito, your amygdala is screaming like it's being chased by a kraken. Number 3. The basement when the light switch is upstairs. You just remembered there's ice cream in the deep freezer. It's 11 p.m., the house is quiet. You're feeling brave. Until you realize, the light switch for the basement is not at the bottom of the stairs. Oh no, it's up top. Which means one thing. You'll be coming back up in total darkness. Cue the most cinematic horror scene your brain can conjure. You flick the switch, descend like you're entering an ancient crypt, grab the ice cream in record time, and then boom, the real panic sets in. Now you have to sprint back up while mentally battling the irrational, but extremely real, sensation that something is chasing you. Why? Because evolution blessed us with hyperactive predator detection. Any place dark, underground, and echoey checks all the boxes for potential death trap. Doesn't matter that this is your own house and the scariest thing that's actually down there is probably some expired soup and a spider named Greg. The second the lights go off, your survival instincts clock in like, "Don't worry, we'll ruin your night from here." This is why grown adults functioning, tax-paying humans can still be found bolting up the stairs like Olympic sprinters, ice cream in hand, chased by exactly 0 monsters but a million years of inherited paranoia. Number 4. Being in a forest alone. Forests are beautiful, serene, peaceful, until the sun goes down and suddenly every twig snap is a demon's footstep, and every owl is plotting your demise. You don't even have to be in a horror movie, just standing there alone is enough to make your internal organs file a group complaint. Being alone in a forest taps into some of the oldest survival instincts we have. See, back in caveman times, forests weren't aesthetic picnic backdrops. They were full of things that wanted to kill or eat you. Predators, poison, other humans who probably weren't stopping by to say hi. And unlike cities, forests have no helpful context clues. No streetlights, no noise pollution, no Uber, just darkness, rustling, and your own imagination, which is now producing a 4 Kelvin surround sound horror montage. Your nervous system cranks up to 11, pumping out adrenaline like you're being hunted, even if the scariest thing nearby is a deer aggressively chewing leaves. It doesn't matter. The silence feels loaded, the shadows feel judgmental. Every crackle of a branch is either a serial killer or Bigfoot's clumsy cousin. So while nature is technically healing, your brain is absolutely spiraling. Enjoy the hike. Number 5. Mannequins after hours. Walk through a clothing store at noon? Totally fine. You barely notice the mannequins awkwardly modeling this season's sales rack. But find yourself in that same store after hours, maybe during a late shift or a midnight maintenance run, and suddenly those blank-eyed plastic torsos feel like they know too much. You glance at one and it feels like it might move. You turn around and swear it shifted an inch closer. You tell yourself you're being ridiculous, and then you catch one out of the corner of your eye and nearly scream because who put that there? This is your brain reacting to something that is almost human, but not quite. It's called the uncanny valley, a psychological phenomenon where things that look human but aren't fully human make us deeply uncomfortable. It's why creepy dolls, androids, and mannequins all give off "this thing might strangle me" energy. Add low lighting, silence, and a little dose of isolation, your brain will absolutely invent a mannequin uprising. Because that's what it was built to do. Overreact to humanoid shapes that might be threats. So yes, you're technically alone, but your body's like, we're surrounded. Prepare for plastic warfare. Number 6. Hotel hallways at 2 Ampere. Hotels. Supposedly the safe haven of weary travelers, business professionals, and kids eating vending machine snacks in pajamas. But once it's late, and you're walking down a long, carpeted hallway that smells faintly like bleach and mystery, you realize something. This place feels haunted. Hotel hallways have a uniquely unsettling vibe at night. They're long, symmetrical, sterile, and eerily quiet. If you hear one weird noise, suddenly it's The Shining, and you're waiting for ghost twins or a tricycle to roll past. This isn't just your imagination having a field day. Psychologically, these spaces trigger our fear of the liminal, those in-between places that don't quite feel real. Hallways, parking garages, airport terminals, they all feel like you're not supposed to be there, especially alone. Combine that with artificial lighting, faint buzzing sounds from vending machines, and the low hum of HVAC systems, and it starts to feel like reality's texture is a little off. And because your brain is a drama queen, it immediately assumes something supernatural is watching you from behind a door. Probably room 217. Always room 217. So next time you hear footsteps echo behind you in a hotel hallway, just remember, it's probably another guest. Probably. Number 7. Playgrounds after dark. By day, playgrounds are filled with laughter, spilled juice boxes, and small humans yeeting themselves off slides like they're made of rubber. But at night, that same playground turns into the set of a horror film titled Swings That Creak for No Reason. There's just something profoundly unsettling about empty seesaws, motionless monkey bars, and that one spring-mounted animal ride bobbing in the breeze like it's possessed by the soul of a Victorian child. No actual danger, just pure, distilled unease. This is what happens when your brain registers a place designed for joy now completely abandoned, dark, and silent. Psychologists call this a reaction to emotional dissonance. Your brain expects laughter, light, and chaos. Instead, it gets eerie stillness, weird shadows, and a faint squeaking sound that might be a swing or a harbinger of doom. Basically, it's like finding a birthday cake in a graveyard. Your body goes, something's not right, and flips every panic switch it can reach. And let's be honest, those fiberglass clown faces painted on jungle gyms? Straight nightmare fuel at night. Who approved that? Who said, yes, let's give the clown spiral slide glowing eyes? So yeah, walking past a dark playground shouldn't be scary. But it is, because your brain is sure one of those empty swings is about to start swinging by itself. Number 8. Mirrors in a dark room. It's just a mirror. A regular, everyday mirror. The same one you use to check if your "I woke up like this" look is charmingly disheveled or just concerning. But turn the lights off, walk past it, and suddenly your brain says, don't look. Don't you dare look. If you look, she'll be there. And by she, we mean Bloody Mary, or your ghost twin, or whatever your subconscious cooked up from the depths of late-night sleep paralysis TikTok. This primal fear of mirrors in the dark comes from a delightful cocktail of factors: self-recognition glitches, low-light visual hallucinations, and ancient folklore warning us that mirrors are portals to other worlds. Because of course they are. There's even something called the strange face illusion. Stare at yourself in a mirror in low light for long enough, and your brain, bless it, will start warping your reflection. Faces melt. Eyes shift. Sometimes you'll swear someone else is looking back. Why? Because your brain gets bored when there's not enough light or motion, so it starts freelancing reality. Thanks, visual cortex. So yes, logically, that's just your face. But emotionally, your body's already halfway out the room, whispering nope, 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 like a paranormal investigator who's seen too much. Number 9. Silence. That's too silent. You know what's scarier than a strange noise in the middle of the night? Absolute, complete silence. Like, so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat, your own breath, and maybe if you're truly cursed, your own thoughts. Silence can feel peaceful during a yoga class or while hiding from responsibility. But there's a tipping point where silence becomes menacing, like the world just paused. You sit there, hyper-aware of every creak, every pulse, every imaginary sound you might have just made up to fill the void. Psychologically, this is because your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It expects sound, ambient noise, birds, traffic, dogs barking at nothing. When all of that disappears, your brain goes full security alert. We've lost contact with reality. Something's off. Initiate goosebumps. In nature, silence often meant danger, a predator nearby, a storm approaching, or something causing every other creature to shut up simultaneously. It's the forest equivalent of, everyone stop talking. Todd just walked in with an axe. So when the silence gets too deep, especially in unfamiliar places, your body starts sending signals like, we shouldn't be here, which is comforting, especially when you're trying to fall asleep in a cabin that has no Wi-Fi, no cell signal, and no escape plan. Number 10. Being watched by security cameras. You're not doing anything wrong. Just browsing, walking, living your best mediocre Tuesday. But the second you notice a security camera pointed in your general direction, your entire body starts acting like you've got 3 unpaid parking tickets and a trunk full of smuggled ferrets. Suddenly your movements get weirdly self-conscious. Am I walking like a normal human? What do arms even do? You avoid eye contact with the camera, like it's going to detect your shame and call your mother. Why does this happen? It's the observer effect, baby. When we know we're being watched, our behavior shifts often for the worse. We become anxious, stiff, and awkward. It's a primal social reflex. Being observed equals being judged. And your brain wants none of that. Security cameras, especially in empty rooms or stores, amplify this effect. You don't know who's watching, or when, or why. So your body responds by going into performance mode, minus the talent or script. Even worse, we've been raised on decades of heist movies and horror footage where bad things happen on grainy surveillance tapes. So part of you thinks the camera is fine, and the other part is wondering when a ghost is going to sprint through frame behind you. Bottom line, you're probably not being watched, but your brain's like, better panic just in case. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.